Hi everyone, and welcome to Bobcat Buddy's Storytime. Today we will be learning about respecting others. But first we need to know what socialization means. Socialization is the things that we have learned through interacting with others, such as how we're supposed to behave around our friends and family. Sometimes it can feel like we're being socialized to believe that power and greed are what give us value. I hope that today, with the help of our friends the bears, we can learn that there is so much more to life than social status. It's more important that we know to treat the people around us and the environment with love and respect. So that's what our story time is about today.
At the far end of town where the Goldilocks grows, and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing excepting old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the Goldilocks, some people say, if you look deep enough you can still see today, where the Lorax once stood, just as long as it could, before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax? And why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere? From the far end of town where the Goldilocks grows. The old Onceler still lives here. Ask him, he knows. You won't see the Onceler, don't knock at his door. He stays in his lurkum on top of his store. He lurks in his lurkum, cold under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of muffled moof. And on special dank midnights in August, he peeks out of the shutters, and sometimes he speaks and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you, perhaps, if you're willing to pay. On the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss it in 15 cents and a nail, and the shell of a great-great-great-grandfather snail. Then he pulls up the pail, makes a most careful count to see if you paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you've paid him away in his snivy, his secret strange hole in his grovelous glove. Then he grunts, I will call you by whisper my phone, for the secrets I tell you for your ears alone. Down slips the whisper-ma-phone to your ear, and the old Onceler's whispers are not very clear, since they have to come down through a snurgly hose, and he sounds as if he had smashed bees up his nose. Now I'll tell you, he says with his teeth sounding gray, how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long, long time back. Way back in the days when the grass was still green, and the ponds was still wet, and the clouds were still clean, and the song of the swalmy swans rang out in space. One morning I came to this glorious place, and I first saw the trees, the trufula trees, the bright-colored truce of the trufula trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. And under the trees I saw brown barbaloots frisking about in their barbaloots suits as they played in the shade and ate trufula fruits. From the rippulous pond came the comfortable sound of the humming fish humming while splashing around. But those trufula trees, all my life I've been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their trufs was much softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what I'd do. I unloaded my cart. In no time at all, I had built this small shop. Then I chopped down a trufula tree with one chop, and with great skillful skill, and with great speedy speed, I took the soft truf and I knitted a need. The instant I finished, I heard a gazoo. So I looked. I saw something pop out of the stump of the tree I'd chopped down. It was sort of a man. Describe him? That's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortest and oldish and brownish and mossy, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpest and bossy. "Mister," he said with a sawdust sneeze, "I am the Lorax. I speak for these trees. I speak for these trees have no tongues. And I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs." He was very upset as he shouted and puffed, "What's that thing you've made out of my trufula tooth?" "Look, Lorax," I said, "there's no cause for alarm. I chopped just one tree. I am doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing is needs a fine something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat, but it has other uses. Yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, or curtains, or covers for bicycle seats." The Lorax said, "Sir, you are crazy with greed. There's no one on earth who would buy that fool deed." But the very next minute I proved he was wrong, for just at that minute a chap came along, and he thought that the need I had knitted was great. He happily bought it for 39.8. I laughed at the Lorax. "You poor stupid guy. You never can tell what some people will buy." "I repeat," cried the Lorax, "I speak for the trees." "I'm busy," I told him. "Shut up if you please." I rushed across the room, and in no time at all, built a radio phone. I put in a quick call. I called all my brothers and uncles and aunts, and I said, "Listen here. Here's a wonderful chance for all the whole Wunsler family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast. Take the road to North Nitch. Turn left at Weehawken. Sharp right at South Stitch." And in no time at all, in the factory I built, the whole Wunsler family was working full tilt. We were all knitting beads, just as busy as bees, to the sound of the chopping of trufula trees. Then, oh baby, oh, how my business did grow. Now, chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which whacked off 4 trufula trees at one smacker. We were making needs 4 times as fast as before, and the Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. But the next week he knocked on my new office door. He snapped, "I'm the Lorax who speaks for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown barbaloots who played in the shade in their barbaloot suits, and happily lived, eating trufula fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking of my trees to the ground, there's not enough trufula fruit to go around, and my poor baby barbaloots are getting the crummies because they have gas and no food in their tummies. They loved living here, but I can't let them stay. They'll have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, boys," he cried, and he sent them away. I, the Wunsler, felt sad as I watched them all go, but business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crummies and tummies, you know. I meant no harm, I most truly did not, but I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory, I biggered my roads, I biggered my wagons, I biggered the loads of the needs I shipped out. I was shipping them forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went right on biggering, selling more needs, and I biggered my money, which everyone needs. And then again, he came back. I was fixing some pipes when the old nuisance Lorax came back with more gripes. "I'm the Lorax," he coughed and he whiffled. He sneezed and he sniffled. He snarled, he sniffed. "Wunsler," he cried with a crufulous croak. "Wunsler, you're making such smokeless smoke. My poor swummy swans. Why, they can't sing a note. No one can sing who has smog in his throat." And so said the Lorax, "Please pardon my cough, they cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape from the smog you've smogged up around here." "What's more," snapped the Lorax, his dander was up, "let me say a few words about Gluppily Glup. Your machinery chugs on day and night without stop, making gluppity glup. Also slupshity slup. And what do you do with this leftover goo? I'll show you, you dirty old once-ler man, you. You're glumping the pond where the humming fish hummed. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gummed. So I'm sending them off, oh the future's dreary. They'll walk on their fins and get woefully weary, in search of some water that isn't so smeary. And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax. Now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap and say bad, 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 bad. Well, I have my rights, sir, and I'm telling you, I intend to go on and doing just what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I'm figuring on biggering and biggering and biggering and biggering, turning more truffula trees into needs, which everyone needs. And at that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From outside in the fields came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree. Then we heard the tree fall, the very last truffula tree of them all. No more trees, no more needs, no more work to be done. So in no time, my uncles and aunts, everyone, all waved me goodbye. They jumped into my cars and drove away under the smoke-smothered stars. Now all that was left beneath the bad-smelling sky was my big, empty factory, the Lorax, and I. The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance, and gave me a very sad, sad backward glance, and as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants, and I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he hoisted himself and took leave of this place, through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. And all that the Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with the one word, unless. Whatever that meant, well, I just couldn't guess. That was long, long ago, but each day since that day, I've sat here and worried away. Through the years, while my buildings have fallen apart, I've worried about it with all my heart. But now, says the once-ler, now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better, it's not. So, catch, calls the once-ler, he lets something fall. It's a truffula seed. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last of the truffula seeds, and truffula trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffula, treat it with care, give it clean water, and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back.
For the song, I chose Let It Grow by Fletcher Sheridan, and it's from the movie The Lorax. And since we just read the book, I thought we could tie it in with a song from the movie. And it's the part where the townsfolk finally stand up to Mr. O'Hare because they finally realize how important trees are, and it's the way they breathe. And not only should you treat other people with respect, but you should treat your environment with respect, because that's your home and that's where you live at. And so I'm gonna sing it, and I will have the lyrics up, so y'all are more than welcome to sing along with me. But inside, I'm just the O'Hare delivery guy. Seems like trees might be worth a try, so I say let it grow. My name is Dan, my name is Rose, and our son Wesley kinda glows. That's not good, so we suppose. But let it grow, grow, let it grow. Reap what you don't sow. The seed inside the earth. Just one way to know its worth. Celebrate the world's rebirth. Say let it grow. Mary and I am 3, and I would really like to see a tree.
La 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 lee. Say let it grow. Nora, I'm old and I got gray hair. But I remember when trees were everywhere. When one had to pay for air. Say let it grow. Grow, let it grow. It's so long ago. Maybe it's one tiny seed. It's all we really need. Time to change the life we lead. Now let it grow.
I'm one of you. I live here in Thneedville too. The things you say just might be true. It could be time to start anew and maybe change my point of view. Nah, I say let it die. Let it die, let it die. Let it shrivel up and come on, who's with me, huh?
Nobody.
You greedy dirtbag!
Grow, let it grow. Life inside your shell. Plant a seed inside the earth. Wait and know its worth. Great the world's rebirth. Say let it grow. Let it grow. What you don't sow. It's just one tiny seed. But it's all we really need. Banish all your greed. The flower empty.
Thank you, Ted.
Gigabox!
This is the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Once upon a time, there was a little girl with golden curly hair, whose name was Goldilocks. One day, Goldilocks was playing near her home when she saw a butterfly. She tried to catch it, but the butterfly flew away. So Goldilocks chased it, right down the path and into the forest. Soon Goldilocks was lost, but then she saw a small house in the middle of the woods. Said Goldilocks.
I'm sure whoever lives here will help me find my way back.
Goldilocks knocked on the door 3 times. Knock, 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 and on the third knock, the door swung open.
I don't think anyone is home.
Then she smelled a delicious smell, and her tummy rumbled loudly. So she decided to go inside. On the table in the small house were 3 bowls of porridge. 1 large bowl, 1 medium bowl, and 1 small bowl. Goldilocks was very hungry.
I'm sure whoever lives here won't notice if I have a little bit of this porridge.
First Goldilocks tried a spoonful from the large bowl.
Oh my! This porridge is too hot!
Next, Goldilocks tried a spoonful from the medium bowl.
Ew! This porridge is too cold!
Finally, Goldilocks tried a spoonful from the small bowl.
This porridge is just right.
The porridge in the small bowl was so delicious that she ate it all up. Goldilocks was very tired, so she went into the living room and found 3 chairs. There was a great big wooden chair, a medium pink chair, and a small blue chair.
I'm sure whoever lives here won't mind if I rest for a little while.
First Goldilocks sat in the great big wooden chair.
Oh my! This chair is not comfortable at all.
Next Goldilocks sat in the medium pink chair. She sank deep into the cushions.
Ugh! This chair is too squishy.
Finally, Goldilocks sat in the small blue chair.
This chair is just right.
Just as she settled into the small chair, crack! It broke into pieces right under her.
Uh-oh. Maybe I should just lie down instead.
So Goldilocks went upstairs to a bedroom, where she found a great big bed, a medium bed, and a tiny little bed.
I'm sure whoever lives here won't mind if I take a short nap.
First, she lay in the great big bed.
Oh my! This bed is too hard.
Next, she lay in the medium bed.
This won't do. This bed is too soft.
Finally, Goldilocks lay in the smallest bed. It was the perfect size for a young girl.
This bed is just right.
Goldilocks pulled the blanket over her and soon fell asleep. At the same time, a family of 3 bears came home to their little house in the woods. They were very surprised to see that the front door was already open.
It looks like someone has been eating my porridge,
said Papa Bear as he looked into his large bowl.
It looks like someone has been eating my porridge too,
said Mama Bear as she looked into her medium bowl.
Someone has definitely been eating my porridge. It's all gone,
cried Baby Bear as he looked into his empty small bowl. The 3 bears went into the living room to find out who ate their porridge.
I think someone has been sitting in my chair,
said Papa Bear.
I think someone has been sitting in my chair too,
said Mama Bear.
Someone has definitely been sitting in my chair,
cried Baby Bear.
And they broke it to pieces.
And so the 3 bears went upstairs to find out who had been sitting in their chairs.
I believe someone has been sleeping in my bed,
said Papa Bear.
I believe someone has been sleeping in my bed too,
said Mama Bear.
Someone has definitely been sleeping in my bed,
cried Baby Bear.
And she's still here.
The 3 bears roared, and Goldilocks woke up very suddenly at the sight of 3 angry bears. The little girl jumped up out of her bed and ran down the stairs, through the kitchen, and right out the front door. Goldilocks ran and ran until she was out of the woods and all the way home. From that day on, she never ever went back into the forest, and the 3 bears never ever saw Goldilocks again. The end.
Next, we are going to play a game that will help us learn to respect our friends. When I tell you a scenario, I want you to give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, depending on whether or not the person in that story is being respectful of their friends. Whoever gives a thumb down first when the person is not being respectful to others can explain to everyone else how they could be respectful instead. Now here's the first scenario. Goldilocks goes into the bear's home without permission. That's right, that's a thumbs down. It wasn't very respectful of her to go in without asking. Goldilocks knocks on the door and waits for the bears to answer. Good job, it's a thumbs up, because now the bears can invite her in and she can spend time with them. Goldilocks brings enough food for everyone to share at the picnic. That's a thumbs up, because now everyone gets food and everyone's happy. But what about when Goldilocks eats the porridge without sharing? Thumbs down, because not everyone got food and Baby Bear's porridge was all gone. And what about when Goldilocks apologizes for breaking Baby Bear's chair? That's a thumbs up, because mistakes happen and she's respecting Baby Bear by apologizing for breaking his things.
Hey friends, today in our story time we learned all about socialization, and I hope that we all remember that socialization is how we learn in society to treat the people around us, to treat our friends and our family and our environment and where we live, like all of those things, how we learn to treat those things kindly and nicely in a very loving way. So today I'm going to show you how to make a little Lorax arts and craft that can hopefully remind us to love and treat others around us in our environment with respect. So first I'm going to show everybody all the supplies that you'll need for our arts and crafts. So first you're going to need one of these cute little bin things. We're going to need some orange yarn. We're going to need little pom-pom balls. and some of these. We're gonna need pipe cleaners. I forgot what they're called, but it's fine. We're gonna need googly eyes. We're gonna need a straw, or a few straws, or you can use one straw because we're gonna be cutting it up anyway. And then we're gonna need a little bit of clay and some scissors, and we're gonna need a hot glue gun. So first, what we're gonna do is make our little trees like we see in our story, the Lorax. And we're gonna make those first so they'll have some time to dry before we start doing everything else. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your pipe cleaner and you're gonna bend it in half, just like that. And you're gonna stick a little hot glue on the tip of it, right there. And then you're gonna stick your glittery pom-pom ball on top. Just hold it for a few seconds while it dries to make our little trees. And then we're gonna take our cut piece of straw and we're gonna stick the end of the tree in it. And what this is gonna do, when we stick our trees in our little bin, it's gonna help stabilize the tree just a little bit better. Okay, so next, let's see. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna make a little mustache for our Lorax. So what I've already gone ahead and done here is I've cut some strips of orange yarn to be his mustache. And what we're gonna do now, and however long you want his mustache to be is how long you're gonna cut your pieces of string or pieces of yarn. So we're gonna grab it here in the middle and we're gonna wrap our little piece of yarn right around it. Let's see there. And I'm just gonna do it one good time and I'm gonna tie it super duper tight. Just like that. Look how cute this is gonna be. I'm so excited. All right. There's his little mustache. All right, so we're gonna lay that to the side. And now we're gonna get our little bin thing, or pail, sorry. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick out where we want his mustache to be. And we've got to remember that we have to have room for his eyes and his nose, okay? So I think right there's a good spot. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little bit more hot glue and I'm gonna stick it on the back of his mustache. And I'm gonna carefully place it on our pail. And try and get it centered in the middle. Just like that. And we'll probably go back and make our yarn mustache look a little bit better. Okay? And we're gonna hold that for just a few seconds while it dries. Alrighty. And then we're gonna take a yellow pom-pom ball. You can use orange or yellow. I just thought since our mustache was yellow or orange, we're gonna do a little yellow nose for him. And we're just gonna stick some hot glue on the back of his nose. And we're gonna stick it right on top of his mustache. Right in the middle. Just like that. Okay. And then we're gonna take our googly eyes and we're gonna stick a little hot glue on the back of those. And we're gonna place them right above his eyes, or not right above his eyes, right above his nose. Let's see. One more time. Just like that. Ta-da! There's our Mr. Lorax. And then let's see, let's clean these up a little bit. Okay, there he is. And the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of our clay. Let's see. All right. And we're going to roll it into a little ball. And we're going to stick it in the bottom of the pail. And then, well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick a little ball of clay for each tree that we make. I've made 5 trees to go inside of our little pail, but you can make however many you want. Or you really don't even have to put trees in it if you don't want to. I just thought that would be good to go along with our story. Alrighty. see. And then, just as a little extra stability, we're gonna put a little hot glue on the bottom of our trees. And we're gonna stick them on our pieces of clay. Just like that. This is gonna be so cute. Okay. Just hold it for a few seconds so it's in there good. Alright. And you can stick your pipe cleaners however far into the straw you want, depending on how tall you want your trees to be. Okay. Alright, y'all. There you go. And you can use this as a pencil holder on your desk, or really you can put it anywhere you want to. I just hope that every time you see it, it reminds you to love your friends and your family and to just be nice to everybody.
Thank you all so much for coming to our Bobcat Buddy story time. And with the help of the bears, we hope you were able to learn a little bit about socialization and how important it is to treat others around us with respect as well as the environment, because it is the world we live in and it is important to take care of the things around us and also to be nice and treat others with respect, no matter how wealthy one might become. Thank you all so much. Bye.